use of therapy has increased dramatically in recent years, and with this increase has come more specialised form of therapy, like cuddle therapy. Cuddle therapy uses the power of hugging to help people overcome adversity. To learn more, I'm joined by a cuddle therapist, Marianna Hollosi. Marianna, hi. Cuddle therapy, how does that work?
Oh, hello everyone. Thank you for having me. It's easy. We just cuddle. There's lots of ways. There's lots of ways of cuddling, depending on what people would like to feel and what emotional background they have. So if some people are grieving, then we approach them with a kind of a mommy bear, baby bear position, where I'm kind of the bigger person and cuddling the others. And there are people who have lost confidence around women and they're trying to get back dating, then we cuddle them a different way. There's lots of approaches. Like I don't really do any breathwork or meditation and exercises, and I don't have a rigid structure because I believe that everybody is individual and everybody has feelings and emotions and they want to achieve something. The one thing I do, I make sure that everybody is safe and nobody is judged, and people can be just themselves and relax in my arms, either with talking and cuddling or just in the silence, whatever they need at the moment.
Just to cuddle. So how does it help people then? So someone comes to you and they've got a problem, and you will cuddle. And like you just said, you might talk and cuddle, you might be in silence and cuddle, but you will cuddle. What does that do to help people?
First of all, I think it helps them to arrive to the place, and it connects back. It gives them the space and the safety to connect back to themselves, to arrive back to themselves, which we normally just stressing around work, and we've got all kinds of problems, and we just don't have time just to be with ourselves. So I think that's really important. And they connect with another person, and together we create a safe place, and by that they can overcome stress and release the happy hormones, the oxytocin, and by that also cortisol, the stress hormone, reduces. So there's a chemical, a biological effect that goes on, like it helps them to ease with their problems and with anything. And when they relax and when they feel safe, that's when they can decide if they want to talk about their problems or they just go home with their weight coming off of their shoulders or happy. It just depends where they want to get to.
It's quite an intimate and trusting experience, a cuddle. How do you get people to the cuddling stage? Do they just walk in and you have a hug, or does it take a little bit of time to relax people into the point where they're willing to have a cuddle?
Yes, it has got stages. So first of all, I call everybody before I book anybody in. So there's like a free consultation where I'm trying to figure out where they stand at, why they need the cuddle, because some people think they need a cuddle, but they need something else that I can't provide. And then when they are sure they need a cuddle and they need me and they like me, then they just book in. But even then, we don't go straight into like a lying down cuddle position. So I normally just hold their hands, and I have one question for everybody, which is, what's the first thing that comes to your mind if you hear the word touch? So when people say dog or slap or connection, then I know exactly where they stand and I can approach them accordingly. So we do a little bit of hand-holding and a little bit of chat. I repeat my boundaries, and I try to encourage them to use their boundaries and ask for things, because this is about communication as well. So this is where the trust comes in. So I kind of let them cuddle me and play with my hair, but also they need to ask for it, and I can say yes or no, and that's the same with them. Every time I touch them, I ask if this is okay, if they're comfortable. So I'm really looking after them, and this way they can trust me. They know they can, and I can trust them as well. And I do one more thing, which is just a minute. I hold their face in a heart shape. It's called havening, and I look into their eyes. And that, again, tells me a lot about the people. So some people close their eyes straight away. Some people look away with their eyes closed, and they just can't bear somebody being that intimate and close, then I normally just stop, or I tell them that they can ask me to stop that. So these are my stages, and then we go into cuddling, and of course we don't start with a full-on cuddle. I just go into like a bit looser, and we're getting closer, we're getting the safe positions. That's kind of like, I call them also like motherly positions. And then if we just need to have like a proper heart-to-heart hug, then they are ready by the time we get there. But also some people are really relaxed. They know what they want, and they just tell me, okay, I want to cuddle like this for half an hour, and then I can do whatever I want. So it all depends.
Wow, it sounds incredible. It really does. I'm sitting here visualizing it as you're telling me what happened, and I can't imagine really that experience. But it sounds like something I'd like to try, because it does sound like something that you really could get a lot off your chest just by building that level of trust that you could get from a hug.
Yes, that's true. That's what most people do. They say that they didn't know they needed it this much. Why haven't they heard about it earlier? And also, I can tell you all these things from my side and what I get as a feedback from my clients. But most people say there's nothing to describe it. You just have to feel it and try it. That's the way really to know what it really is like.
Do you ever have people coming in who are not huggers, so to speak? I know a lot of people who say that they don't like hugging. They don't like it because a lot of people, when you'll greet someone after a long time, you might give them a little hug. And when you say goodbye, you might give a hug. But I know people who really don't feel comfortable with it. Do you ever get those type of people coming to you and you have to break down that extra barrier?
I haven't had any of those clients, but I do know cuddle therapists around the world who do have these kinds of clients. And then, that's a step-by-step process. But that's really good if they are aware that they don't like cuddles. Touch is a basic. It's one of the 5 love languages. People have to have touch to feel loved and be loved and to be able to give love. So that's a good thing if people do that. I would love to help to people like that as well, but I haven't had a chance yet.
So, cuddle therapist, not something that I remember coming up with my careers advisor at school when we were going through the options for me. How did you become a cuddle therapist, and why did you want to become a cuddle therapist?
A video on Instagram 2 years ago, and there was a young lady fueling up a Porsche at the petrol station, and someone was interviewing her, and she said she was a touch therapist, and I said, okay, I could do with a car like that, like as a joke. And then I looked up, and it turned out it was real. It was already big in America. It is huge, like everybody knows about it, and people in London used to go to America to have cuddle therapy there because we didn't have it here. And I just hated my job. And I hated it like every day I went to work, and I decided that, okay, this is not going to be okay for my mental health or any emotional issues. And I resigned, and I didn't know what to do, and I just gave it a chance. I said, I kind of released to the universe, okay, if I have to be a cuddle therapy, because this was lingering in the back of my mind for like months and months, then show me the way. So I sat down in front of my laptop and I Googled it, and then... and I just found the course, I did it, and I just decided, okay, I took a leap of faith, and then I need to do this. And there's a reason behind. Another reason is that I was criticized most of my life, and I was hiding, and I never felt safe because nobody accepted me the way I am. And I just stopped doing that. And I don't care, but I'm just the most beautiful person now, and I can give love to everybody. So I can give that acceptance and understanding and compassion that I never received. And I think that's how I have that big impact on people, because they just feel accepted and loved and supported, and not alone anymore when they are in my arms. And it's the best thing about it is it's not just for the 1 hour or 2 hours while they are here. It keeps them going for days, and they remember.
Well, Marianna, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story today. If people are interested in finding out a little bit more about yourself and a little bit more about cuddle therapy, where can they go? Where can they find you?
They can find me on the Cuddle Professional International website, where I'm a certified member. If they Google it, and they can find me on my Instagram as well, Marianna's Healing Cuddles. And I'm working on my website at the moment. So that's going to come out shortly as well.
Marianna Hollosi, thank you so much for joining us. That sounds really, really interesting. I'm loving the idea of it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Every
Have a lovely
Tuesday
evening.
evening from 6.